Hey guys, we're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my special guest is the Cap Guy. How are you doing?
I'm good. I feel honored. It's the second time I've got to be on your show.
Well, you know what, Bobby, man, your channel's been growing. Last time you were on the show, you're right around 500 subscribers, and now you're climbing up to almost 700. So before you know it, you'll be at 1,000 subscribers. So
I don't believe that for a minute.
I do. I saw you. I saw you on the show with Angie Resells. I've seen you guys been hanging out. So
well, she's growing quickly too. I mean,
yeah,
she's up above me. But
yeah, I saw her.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Yeah, she was on with Emily Conway today. But
I
no,
know,
believe it or not, the Cap Guy, yeah, we had 5 likes on this video before we went live. So your name's getting out there. People know who you are. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people who don't know who you are. I'll put you on full screen.
All right. Well, I am the Cap Guy, and I have a puppet named JT. I'm trying to be different. I got an alien in the back there, you can see, and I got Mr. JT here wearing the Cap Guy beanie. And we try to be different than other channels. Those that don't know me, I'm from Texas, but I live in Oklahoma. I retired almost 3 years ago from UPS in sales, and now I do this full time. I took a year off and didn't do much of anything except gain weight and watch Dr. Phil and Price is Right. And now I do this full time, and I do it 7 days a week. And I have a YouTube channel as well, and I just try daily to teach people and entertain, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, and so the Cap Guy, he's a full-time reseller. Is that correct?
That is correct. 7 days a week.
Yep. So go ahead, Cap Guy. Tell people, because if they didn't catch our last time we had you on, tell people kind of what your background is before you became a full-time reseller. Like what exactly were you doing before you be switched over to full-time? Go ahead.
Well, again, I served in the Navy when I got out of school, and served on both coasts on an aircraft carrier and a cruiser, traveled all over the world, and then came home and got into the transportation industry with a company that doesn't exist anymore called Pure Letter Courier. And I spent 35 years with different companies, the last 20 being with UPS in their freight division, not the small brown trucks, but the freight division. I was a terminal manager in Arizona. I lived in Beaumont, Texas. I've lived all over New York, etc., and Dallas a couple of times, Austin, where I'm from. And then here in Oklahoma, I've lived 2 or 3 times in my career. And again, they offered early outs a few years ago. I was 59, and I decided to take it and run, get my pension early. So I did. And then I decided I was already a part-time reseller for many years, just mainly with sports jerseys. I know a lot about jerseys and helmets. But when I went full-time, I branched out because jerseys aren't the easiest thing to find every day in the thrift stores and yard sales. So I decided to do other things. And now I do a ton. I have almost 3,700 listings on eBay, and that's all I sell on.
Yeah, you've been hustling, Bobby. I wanted to say hi to a few people in the chat. We got 1987 Ventures, Tracy's here hanging out with us. We got Digging for Dills, Missouri, says, hope your video goes well. And in 1987 Ventures, Tracy says, good evening, JT. She's talking about your puppet. And Angie Resells is here. Hey, Angie Resells. We were just talking about you today. I saw your video today with so you guys had a good interview. So we were just talking about you. And Linda is here, says, hi from Oklahoma. So we thank you guys for coming in. Yeah, I was with Emily Conway. So you guys had a good show. We were just talking about you. You're almost to 700 subscribers, Angie. So before you know it, you'll be at 800 and 1,000 before you know it. So it's just one of those things that takes time. I think when I was shooting YouTube videos, I think it took me about 9 or 10 months just to get I got my 1,000 subscribers, but then I had to get my 4,000 hours of watch time. So it just takes time. It's not something that just happens overnight. Like I said, we have Linda here from Oklahoma. We have Sandy here. She says, hi all. And Angie Resell says, thank you so much. Well, thank you for coming in today. We appreciate you. So Cap Guy, talk to me about your sales, Cap Guy. I was watching your videos, and oddly enough, we sell similar items. Like, for example, I just sold this on eBay for $15. I got this at the Dollar Tree for $1. I don't know if you guys can see. I'll zoom in. You see where it says Walmart Select. So at one point in time, this item was at Walmart and it didn't sell. So I picked it up at the Dollar Tree for $1 and turned around and it sold for $15. And the eBay customer paid shipping. And I was looking at some of your sales, and you sell a lot of video games. You sold some VHS tapes. You sold some DVDs, like some seasons, episodes of TV shows. So we sell similar type of products because I tell people about, hey, you guys can make good money reselling DVDs, VHS tapes, Blu-rays, and video games. And sometimes they kind of roll their eyes like, yeah, right. I'm going to buy an item for 50 cents and sell it for $10. They're like, what kind of money is that? But what they don't realize is there's a computer algorithm in eBay. And even if you sell an item for a $10 item, it triggers a computer algorithm. And now you might get 3, 4, 5 sales in a row, like back to back to back. So you want to have a little bit of turnover. You want to talk about some of the items that you sell in your store?
Well, and just talking about video game, or not video games, but DVDs, I've been picking up about a year ago. I didn't even think about DVDs as much, even though I was picking them up at the bins for probably 10 cents a piece used. But this summer, I accidentally, and sometimes accidentally, you fall into things. But that's why, folks, you got to comp things to know what they're worth. And I bought 16 seasons of The Simpsons, and I paid $15 for it. And I sold it within a week for $185. And video games, when you pick them up for $1 or $2, although Goodwill's gotten ridiculous, when you find those, I do bundle deals. I'll buy 97 video games for $97 at a yard sale, and some of them are going to be $5 video games, but then there'll be some $50 and $60 video games. And so I bought some just recently at a yard sale just by accident. It was open, went in, bought every video game they had for $97. 97 video games, and I expect to make almost $1,100. I'm already $300 in profit off the deal because I just sit and, as you know, Jeff, video games, especially for you if they're new, but even if they're not, they're easy to list. It's 2 or 3 pictures and you're done. And I have a JFJ Pro if I need to clean anything. I do that as well, especially on the video games. But they're easy to list. You can list them quickly. Angie kind of questioned me one day when I said I could list a video game in less than a minute, and she timed me, and I did it in less than a minute because it's easy to do with your phone. That's how I list, and it's real easy.
Yeah, I have an example of video game right here. This little old sports game. It was
a good one.
Xbox 360 March Madness 08. It has Kevin Durant on the cover, and I think I maybe had 50 cents tied up in this guy, and it sold for I think maybe around $10, 10 to 15, something like that. But what I'm saying is that if you hustle, as I tell people, I can list 100 items in a day, no problem. Because what happens is, like, for example, this Blu-ray, there's a little barcode here. This is a Dollar Tree one, but regular ones, you can scan the barcode. I'll hit sell similar, and a lot of times you can use the cover art that's already there, or you can just take a picture front and back and upload it, and you're good to go. I mean, yeah, and I tell people, like, oh, I can list 100 items in an hour or 2 hours. They're like, no, you can't. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a live listing this week. I just ordered 200 Blu-rays similar to this, 200 Blu-rays. I won an auction on eBay, and I think I got them for $200 shipped to my door, and I got 200 Blu-rays. So my thinking is if I can get a minimum of $10 a piece times 200, I'm turning my initial investment of $200 into $2,000 worth of merchandise.
Absolutely.
Just like and it's shipped to my door. So I'm not spending gas. I'm not driving around all over the city looking for merchandise. You can buy items in bulk, like Bobby was saying, and kill it. Like when you were saying you bought those 97 video games, I was thinking in my head, before you even said anything, I was thinking he's going to make about $1,000 profit on that deal. That's because I was just doing a rough estimate in my head, because I was like, if he gets at least $10 a piece times 97, that's 970. So just with a rough estimate in my head, I'm like, oh, he's going to make at least $1,000 on that deal. And I know I just went to a thrift store the other day, and they had video games that was buy one, get one free. And so I bought 4 video games for $4, and 2 of them were sealed new in a shrink wrap. One of them sells for $40, another one sells for $30, and the other 2 that were used, both of them sell for $20 a piece. So you're taking something where you're spending $4 in merchandise, and you're selling it on eBay for like $110. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because you had the 40 and the 30, that's 70, plus 20 is 90, plus 20, that's $110, and your buy cost was $4. Right. So if you're willing to go out there and hustle, you can kill it. I just wanted to catch up with some people in the chat real quick. We have Red Dirt Picker here. He says, hey, Linda. We have Linda's in the chat, says, hey guys, freezing here in frozen tundra of Oklahoma. Yeah, we were just talking about that. The flippin' sports guy is here hanging out with us. Angie Resells is here. Let's see. The Flippin' Sports guy says, I came here to see JT, not the Cap guy. So JT is popular. and, I told you, Cap guy, before we got started, we have 5 likes on this video before we went live. So you're a popular guy.
One of them was mine.
Oh, is that was you? All 5 of them were you? Okay. Resale Hobo says, hey gang, hey Cap guy. Would you say working at FedEx and seeing all these packages help with your reselling? And I wanted to say hi to my buddy BK from the Rockies is here. Go ahead.
Well, even though I started with a small package carrier, a pure letter courier in Emory, I later worked for Pony Express. When I worked for UPS, I was in the LTL, the palletized freight division, not the brown trucks, but I am aware of it. And yes, it does help. Although I'll be honest, I don't use UPS. I probably use FedEx more just because it's more convenient for me. But I use the USPS probably 99.9% of the time. And something else, I did a series about 3 weeks ago on 5 items I bought last year and I made the most money off of. And the surprising thing is the number one item I made money off of last year wasn't video games. It was ball caps. Finding ball caps. I made over $5,000 on ball caps, and go back and watch those videos. One of the other ones I made a lot of money on was plush. And a lot of people know about plush, but some of the plush I've sold are $70 to $100 plush of Planets versus Zombies, Sonics, that kind of stuff. So don't overlook those things. And remember, comp everything, because I don't know everything like a lot of resellers don't. I don't care how big a channel they have. They can never know everything, and you have to comp things to learn. And the more you learn, the more you can be a really good picker and find some really home run. I had my biggest sale ever a couple of weeks ago, or a little over a week ago. I paid $90 for an autographed Kevin Durant jersey that I picked up and with a COA, and I just flipped it for $750 to somebody in New York City. So you'll get the home runs too, but you're going to make your money, as you know, Jeff, off the smalls.
Yeah, I was going to say also, if you see items like this is just a little remote. If you see something like this for 50 cents or 75 cents, grab them, because these remotes, believe it or not, they sell like hotcakes on eBay. So, I mean, usually this one doesn't, but usually they have like a little serial or model number that you can look up, and they're small. They're not heavy. They'll ship first class. They don't take up a lot of space, and they'll sell pretty regularly. So if you see something like this, like a remote to a TV, pick them up, because they sell pretty regularly. So Cap Guy,
I find the ones with stereos are the ones that are best, especially the vintage stuff, because they can't find them. It's hard to find. So you're right. Pick them up cheap, and anything, pick it up cheap and flip it for good money.
Yep. I was going to say, especially if you can get something like this in bulk. My brother buys a lot of remotes, and he just bought 1,000 remotes recently for $400. So his buy cost is 40 cents a piece. So I'm just bringing that up to give you guys an illustration of something where you're like, hey, I'm at a thrift store or yard sale. I don't know what to look for. Well, we just talked about DVDs, VHS tapes, video games, Blu-rays, remotes, caps, stuffed animals, just all type of items. I prefer to get small, lightweight items like this item right here. This is going to ship medium L. So, I mean, the medium L is like what, $2.89, and it weighs under a pound. So those are good items. I wanted to see if you can talk a little bit about selling ball caps, because I was watching your video and you were talking about how you were buying ball caps at the Goodwill bins, and you turned around and flipped them and resold them on eBay. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because your channel is called The Cap Guy. So I'll put you on full screen. You can tell us about it.
Actually, the Cap Guy is a name I probably shouldn't have picked, because a lot of people do associate me with just ball caps. And I do have probably 500 on eBay. I listed 25 more yesterday. But I sell everything. And doll clothes, Mary Kay makeup. If it makes money, I sell it. And the ball caps that you get at the bins where I live in near Oklahoma City, they're about 18 cents a piece, because the weight of the product is 69 cents a pound. So you figure what a ball cap weighs, about 4 ounces. And then at the Goodwills, they're about $2.32. And then at yard sales and estate sales, I bought 40 ball caps, vintage ball caps, just recently. And they were 50 cents a piece. I've already sold one for $42, and I'll show you a couple of them. I'm going to grab them here real quick. And these caps go for huge money because of what's on them. It's all about the theme. And the 3-stripe caps go for I did a video the other day where I showed 3-stripe caps in part of my video. There were some that went for $1,500, folks. Now this one is a Savage. It's a hunting camo mesh trucker hat. I've got that listed for $49 or $45 on eBay. I paid 50 cents for it. There's another one, again, gun themed, but these are really old caps. And I also did a video on how to clean these things. Here's another one, Remington. These are mesh camos, and these are all in my eBay store. Here's Smith & Wesson. And again, they're all foam, and they are vintage. But if they had the 3 stripes, we just added about $100 or $200 to that value.
Yeah, and you can get them pretty cheap. If you're at a yard sale or a estate sale or thrift store, you can usually get ball caps pretty cheap, right?
Right. And one of the best places to find the vintage stuff is when spring gets here, wherever you live, and I live in Oklahoma, is to get out and hit the rural communities when they have their annual community sales or town sales, because a lot of the farmers are getting rid of these things because they've had them for years, and that's where you're going to find the value. In the cities, you're not going to find a lot of older ball caps. You may get lucky, but I would say get out and hit some of these older towns, smaller towns, where they have and Oklahoma has a bunch of community yard sales. They even have one in a town called Duncan, Oklahoma, that's the world's largest. And we went last year, and we didn't even touch the surface of all the yard sales they had. And we found a ton of treasures.
Awesome. I wanted to say hi to a few people in the chat. We got my buddy Cali Reseller Louise is here hanging out with us today. We got 1987 Ventures Tracy. She says, I have yet to find a 3-stripe. That's my grail. Well, if you get out there and hunt and look for it, you'll find it. You'd be surprised at stuff you come across if you just get out and look for it. Karen is here. She says, hey, everybody. Hey, Lisa. I wanted to say hi to the Resale Hobo. He says, Taco Stacks bought, I think, like 200 ball caps for 25 cents a piece a while back and sold them for $5 and up. Yeah, that's what we were just saying. If you can get them, especially at a thrift store. I mean, I've seen especially like these church thrift stores. They'll sell them to you for 50 cents a piece, and you might walk out of there with 20 ball caps, and you paid $10, you know. And not all of them are going to be home runs, but when you got 50 cents a piece tied up in the merchandise, you know, you're going to make your money back pretty quickly. I mean, you know, you just need to sell one of those hats to get your money back, and then the rest of it, you'll be in the profit. I wanted to say hi to Eric is in the chat hanging out. Lisa is here, and I think we had a few more people jump in the chat. Angie Resells is here. Adebayo is here. He says, how does a 3-stripe hat look like? Do you have one that you can show them so they know what it looks like?
I don't. Go back and watch my video the other day when I talk about it in the video. It's in the title. But on the sides of the ball cap, so if you're looking at this ball cap, on the sides, you're going to see 3 cloth stripes on both sides. They're just single stripes, but there's usually 3 on the side of each side, and that's a 3-stripe ball cap. The other thing is if inside the snap, it's made by K Products or Louisville Manufacturing, those are desirable. But a lot of what ball caps are valuable for is what's on the front of it. If it's agriculture related, like John Deere or International Harvester, or tobacco, like Red Man or Kodiak tobacco, some of those hats are $300-$400 hats. And when I did the video the other day on teaching the 3-stripe caps, we went through a few ball caps. One of them was a U.S. Marine Corps. They range from about $100 to $1,500 in sold comps. So the 3-stripe caps are really something you want to find if you can. And yeah, they're getting rare, and that's why people are paying so much for them. But you know, like Jeff, everything that you buy on eBay, a lot of it's about memories. That's why I buy things. That's why other people buy things. And so it's either a company they worked for, or it's something they had as a kid, or their grandpa had as a kid, and it's just bringing back memories, and they want to buy that stuff.
Yeah, and I was going to say also, if you see name brand stuff like Nike or Adidas, or let's say you see a basketball team, let's say like the Miami Heat basketball team or the Toronto Raptors, if you see like sports teams or something like that, I would pick those up because they have a big following behind those certain sports franchises. People are really supporting of their hometown team. So
yeah. These two, this is another one. These are Ralph Lauren polos. Yeah, this is the leather strap on the back. Those are easily $20-$25 hats. And the Nike dry fit running hats, the real thin ones, those go for, I sell those for $25 to $30 a piece used. So those are definitely another bolo.
Yeah, you were just talking about how you found a hat in your death pile, and I think you just sold it for $25. It was just sitting in your death pile, and you were just like, "Hey, let me go ahead and list this hat."
Yeah, I went through my death pile last night in the garage, and I pulled all my hats, and I listed 25, and this one sold within 5 minutes of listing it. It is a vintage Seattle Seahawk ball cap, and it's made by Sports Specialties. It's not in the greatest of condition on the inside. And then the other was an Anheuser-Busch, brand new with tags. I got both of these at the bins for 18 cents. I sold this one for 25 and this one for 12 plus shipping on top. So quick
Well,
sales.
yeah, 18 cents. Now that's my price range, cap guy. When you start talking about 18 cents, I'm in on that whole deal. We had a question in the chat from Linda. She says, "What is the best way to clean older bobcats, ball caps that the foam inside is deteriorating?"
Okay. If you go back again about 3 weeks ago when I went to that estate sale and found these caps I just showed you, I did a video that lasts for about 15 minutes on exactly that. And I showed where I immersed them in water. And in some cases, the foam just fell out of them because they were wet. So go back and watch that video because it's really entailed on what I did. Sometimes the foam can be stubborn, but I take the foam out. But when I did the video on the 3-strap caps the other day, there was one guy that sold a hat for like $300 or $400. It still had the foam falling out of it. But the problem with that is when you're handling that ball cap, that foam is falling all over you. I call it foam poop, and it just falls all over you. And I don't want the customer to get it and have it falling out. So I do clean them out if the foam's coming out of them. And I've got one right now that's a Western type ball cap, and it's K Products. And I cleaned it out. All I did was immerse it in the water to clean it, and the foam just fell out of it.
Okay.
So go back and watch the video, though.
Cap guy, I want to talk a little bit about video games. When I had you on the channel last, you said you had about 500 or 600 video games in your death pile. To give us an update on your video game death pile, how has it been? Have you had to go back and clean some of your items? Did you able to flip them and sell them? Did you make a pretty good profit on those video games? And what are some certain type of video games we should be on the lookout for? Go ahead.
Well, now that I have gotten into that 600 plus video game pile, and then I added another 100 to it, what I found was, of course, I'm down to about, I'd say about 150 or so that I've still got a list, but they're the low end games. I would say if I was sourcing games, not counting the cartridge games, because those are always going to be things you want to sell, I have the best luck with condition of PS3s and probably Xbox Ones and PS4s. The original Xbox, the PS2, and some of the Xbox 360 and Wii's can be very finicky. And you got to be really careful with some of those games when you're cleaning them, especially Wii's, because you can wipe them out if you have a JFJ Pro. PS2s, I would say, are probably one of the worst games to get clean and make work correctly. But I've also sold quite a few PS2s for really good money. So I still look for them. But I would definitely suggest from somebody that's been doing a lot of them lately is look at the condition when you buy them, because sometimes if you don't have a way to clean them, they're not going to work. Then it's really not worth messing with unless you get them, like I said, for $1. I'll pick up any game, even if it's worth $6 for $1. So if I can get it cheap enough, I'll buy it and try to clean it. And if you don't, it didn't work, then it doesn't work. But you're going to find some that are $50-$60. And then I've sold some for as much as $150. And that was a Dokapon on Wii and a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on PS2 and a Xenosaga on PS2 I sold for about $150. So there's some good games out there. A lot of the good ones are the anime themed games. Obviously, your Zeldas and your Marios are also good, but you definitely want to be looking for those.
Yeah, I was going to say last year I had a video game that I picked up for 50 cents and I sold it on eBay for $200. It was an old PS1 game. I posted it on Instagram. So if you guys look, you don't know what you're going to come across till you get it. So if you see a good deal and like Bobby said, you can find it for $1, pick it up. You know, that's good. They sell like hotcakes. So Adebayo is in the chat. He says, "Do you test the video games before you ship them out?"
If they're worth 100 plus, yeah, I will test them because I want to know for sure. I actually take when I'm doing my listing, I will take pictures of it on a screen to show them that it did work in my possession. because I have had people tell me it doesn't work and all that kind of stuff. But no, when you're listing 40 video games a day, you can't test them all. There's just no way. And I do have every system just about there is to be able to test them. I even picked up the 5 and the Xbox X when they came out, although it wasn't easy to get, but I have those. I test what I can, but it's usually the higher end stuff, the lower end stuff. I just clean it and you can kind of get an idea if it's going to work or not. But I would say, I'm really surprised how good the PS3s really are. They were really good games, and the disc hardly ever gets scratched up. So, folks, put your stuff in cases when you're done playing it. That's what my suggestion, because people just don't take care of their video games.
Sorry, I just sold something on eBay. I get excited.
I heard you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just sold something. Sorry, guys. Sometimes that happens. So I wanted to say hi to a few people in the chat. Angie Resells is here. Lisa is here. Cali Reseller Louise is here in the chat hanging out with us. SC Treasures is here. Thank you for coming out today. We appreciate you. We had a question from 1987 Ventures Tracy. Says, you always have to check and make sure the disc is inside the right one. I've been bit by that before. Yeah, I've had that happen to me a couple weeks ago. I was at a GameStop and it was like, I think it was buy 2 get 1 for free or buy 2 get 2 free, use video games. So I was getting games for $1 a piece, and then I was in a hurry to check out, and when I got home I had a video game case and there was no disc inside the case, and I got so mad I took that game and threw it across the room because it was my own fault. I should have checked it before I left, but I was in such a hurry to get in and get out because they had a deal and the sale was ending that day. And I wanted to hit 5 or 6 GameStops and get about 100 video games and load my car up. But when I got home, like I said, I was in such a hurry to check out. I didn't look to see the disc was in there before I left. And I had a video game case with no disc in it. And
I think that's happened to everybody. I kind of done so many that I can feel the weight of it, just picking it up and kind of know if it's empty or not.
Yeah, well, I just didn't. They put them all in a bag, and the guy was supposed to check it. I didn't check. I wanted to say hi to Miratech is in the chat. So, guys, we're doing something new since Bobby was here last. I'm dropping the StreamYard link in the chat. So if you want to come on the channel and hang out with us or ask questions to our guests, you can click on the StreamYard link and jump on. I just started this a couple weeks ago. So if you guys want to be more interactive, I dropped the StreamYard link into the chat. And we have a question here from Red Dirt Picker. He says, Cap Guy, where is your favorite sourcing spots? Tell us where your honey holes are, Cap Guy. Tell us a story.
Obviously, I'm starting to get away from the Goodwills because some of the stores have just, as y'all know, they've jacked up their prices to the ridiculous. So my favorites are obviously family-run estate sales, not company-run estate sales. Family-run and then yard sales, community-wide yard sales. But I'm like Matt, part-time picker. If it's dark, I've been out there in the dark. If it's January and there's a yard sale, the Cap Guy's there. I get up, I get out early, and I hit as many as I can. I run from one to the other. And when they have the town and community sales, Google in your state where the community yard sales are or the 100-mile yard sales and when they are, and you will find them. They are there. There's some in the end of February here in Oklahoma that we're going to be hitting in northern Oklahoma. And there's some really good community yard sales. And one of them I went to last year is in western Oklahoma. Somebody told me about it. It's 500 people in this little town called Corn, Oklahoma. And I thought, there's no way they're going to have hardly anything. Is it worth 2-hour drive to go out there? You would have thought they were filming the movie Twister. There were so many people out, and there were people everywhere. There were 30 yard sales in that little town that day. And I found vintage Barbie doll houses that had been in people's attics since the 70s and things like that, and just made a killing. Ball Cap City. I mean, it was fantastic. So definitely Google your states, whether they put on Facebook or yard sale app or whatever, but definitely Google your state's community and town yard sales because they're out there and you may not know about them.
Yeah, awesome. We have a question from SE Thrifted Treasures. He says, do you have a Goodwill bins close to you? And I wanted to say hi to Save Here First.
I probably have one of the best bins here in Oklahoma. I haven't been since July because I have such a death pile that I'm trying to work through what I have, and I still continue to source here and there. But ours is 69 cents a pound for hard goods. Shoes are in the $2 range. there's a lot of Amazon resellers buying books for less than $1. And then the clothing is $1.59 a pound up to 25 pounds. And then it goes down to like 99 cents a pound. And it's huge. And you can find a lot of great stuff. I found Power Rangers in there. I found a fur coat, a $200 sports jersey. I found Lennox Jewel Collection stuff. I mean, there's just, it's plentiful and it's huge. And it's not all mixed up together like I see in a lot of other videos of other places where the bins are together. This is separated. All the clothing is separated from the shoes, from the books. All the hard goods are separated. So it makes it easy to know what you want to go for. If you want to go to clothing, you go to that area. If you want to go to shoes, you go over there, books over there. But if you want to go to hard goods, you're going to run like everybody else to get them. It's like the land run opening up again in Oklahoma when it opens. But you can find a lot of great stuff. And ball caps. I find them constantly.
Okay. We got a question from Adebayo. He says, how many photos of each hat do you take when you post hats on your eBay store?
Okay. So I use a head. I have a glass head that I use. I set the ball cap on the front and I take a picture of the front. Then I take a picture of the logo up close. I take a picture of this side. I take a picture of the back. I take a picture of this side. If there's a logo on the back, I get a close up of it. And then I flip it over and I take a picture of the inside from a distance. And then up close, any tags or markings and the condition of the hat close. So I would say I take probably 8 or 9 pictures of that ball cap from all angles because I don't want no return on the ball cap. And I've only ever had one. And I sell I did 5,000 ball caps last year.
Yep. So if you have ball cap questions, the cap guy can point you in the right direction. SC Treasure says that his bins is $1.89 a pound for hard goods. Angie Resells says hers is $1.79 a pound for most everything. And BK says hit the like button. Thank you guys for coming in today. We got a Frugal Peanut Reseller just stopped by. Says hello everybody. And I wanted to say hi to Save Here First and Eric. So something I wanted to talk about today on the channel is like if you're in a Bobby situation and you're snowed in, you can still look online and buy stuff online arbitrage and buy stuff in bulk and have it mailed to your house. So if you're in a situation, if it's wintertime and you don't have any estate sales or yard sales, or maybe you can't get out to thrift stores because maybe it's raining or it's too cold outside, look online. Go on eBay, for example. I just went on eBay over the weekend and I just typed in Blu-ray wholesales. And I ended up winning 2 auctions over the weekend. And I bought 200 Blu-rays in an auction and I won, and it's being shipped to my house. So if you're busy, if you're working a job, or maybe if the weather's bad, if you can't get out, try to do some online arbitrage. I recently just ordered 1,000 CDs that were new in the shrink wrap, and I paid $400 for 1,000 CDs. So my initial buy cost is 40 cents a piece per item. Now, if I sell all 1,000 of them for at least $10 a piece, that's $10,000 worth of merchandise. And my initial buy cost, like I said, was $400. So you're turning, 40 cents into $10 doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it's a 25x on your money. You got to look at it as I'm turning my $400 investment into $10,000 instead of saying, oh, well, I'm only turning 40 cents into $10. You just have to start thinking outside the box. Go ahead, Cap Guy. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Jeff, did you buy the Blu-rays? Are they all sealed or are they used?
They're all brand new in the shrink wrap. I bought them sealed, and CDs are mostly all sealed. There's a couple of them where maybe the seal was broken. There's going to be a couple of them where it's going to be duplicates because you're buying 1,000 of them. So right. I don't honestly mind because I'm trying to grow my store, so it doesn't bother me if there's duplicates. But yeah, they're all just like this. They're all new sealed in the shrink wrap. So if you guys can get deals on items like that, it doesn't have to be CDs or Blu-rays. You could go type in video games wholesale lot, whatever it is you're looking for, and then look for a wholesale lot online and then bid on it, and you can win auctions and get really good deals on merchandise and have it shipped to your house. Think about how much time that saves you and how much gas money you're not spending driving around the city. And if you can't get out, like the Cap Guy where he's snowed in, he can't get out. So now, Cap Guy, there's something that we got to talk about today. Everybody once came here to see JT. Is JT in the house? Can you show us JT? Because this is what the people came here to see.
Did they really? Maybe
yeah.
He can start his own channel.
I think so. It's going to be the JT channel.
Hey, y'all, what's going on out there? Check out the videos. I sang this morning. I did an Eagles song that Cap Guy wrote in 5 minutes.
Thank you. Yay! JT is in the house.
We try to entertain. That's the intro, and then I go into what's sold. I do make a video every day, and I've been doing YouTube for over a year, so I'm a little disappointed in the amount of subscribers I have. But I'm not afraid to do anything. I'm kind of crazy like that, so I'll do anything to get a laugh. So me and JT, we pick on each other. We write songs and sing. We do whatever, and then we go into what we sell every day. And my goal is to make 150 profit a day. And I was doing that consistently until just recently when it slowed down. But yesterday was a pretty good day, and today's a pretty good day going so far. So maybe it's coming back, but that's what you get after Christmas.
And a bio says, does JT take photos and ship the items?
No, he just directs me to do
it. He tells you to do all the work. Okay.
And then he expects to get paid. He wants to be paid union wages for being in the videos every day.
What is that? What is that union thing that they have that the actors, the gilded actors have? He needs to get one of those gilded actor cards, right? YouTube cards.
Quit making videos. But he was abducted. If you go back and watch my videos a few weeks ago, we say we don't plan this stuff. I'll write a song in 2 minutes and attach it to something else. But it's funny. I will do videos, and we just shoot from the hip. We say whatever comes to his head. Okay. And not too long ago, he got abducted by the aliens behind me, and they took him to Nibiru, another planet, where all they eat is Cheetos and drink Dr. Pepper. And
oh man,
he harassed all the alien women so bad and ate all the Cheetos that they had to send him back the next day. So I went a day without JT on my show and had to fill in with an alien. So
okay, so you had an alien on your show. Okay.
Well, they're always somewhere in the vicinity.
Okay. Tracy says JT should sing "You Can Leave Your Hat On," and Red Dirt Picker says it's called a SAG card. So yeah, we're gonna get the SAG card for JT. So hey, Cap Guy now.
Y'all can send him money anytime you want to. I'm sure he'll spend it as foolishly as I do.
Right. That's the idea. So, Cap Guy, talk to me a little bit, man, because you're a full-time reseller. So, can you give us maybe 2 or 3 tips that would help somebody if they're a full-time reseller or they are a full-time reseller in training? Like they want to become a full-time reseller, they're doing it part-time, and one day they want to become a full-time reseller. What advice or tips would you give somebody to start making money where they can make a full-time income? Because I want to clarify real quick. The Cap Guy, you're retired, so you get a check from your job where you retired from, right? So
that's correct.
Selling on eBay isn't your only source of income. So if some people watch your video and they say, "Oh, well, he only made $150 or $200 today in profit," I'm like, "Yeah, but that's not his only check. That's not your only source of income, is selling stuff on eBay." But if somebody had aspirations and they wanted to become full-time on eBay, what would you recommend or say that they should do, Bob? Because you've been at it for full-time for a while now, correct?
Most places I know, you could probably live on 150 profit a day, 7 days a week. But my pension does change a little bit come April because I took a bump rule when I retired. So it's going to change. So I won't get as much. And I was going to go on Social Security in April when I turned 62. But now that I made $97,000 last year on eBay. My suggestions to somebody that's trying to do this full time: do your research before you really start getting into reselling. I mean, you can always pick up video games and things that are low cost of goods to get started, but do the research. And I did a video the other day when I talked about the 3-stripe caps. Go on to eBay and do the research. Look for the high end. When you're searching, say, ball caps, go search the filter of used caps and go above $50 and kind of see because you're going to learn these things. You're going to watch other channels, those that deal with toys, those that deal with plush, those that deal with caps, those that deal with video games. There's a lot of good resellers, that know what they're doing. And for me, I'm not the greatest videographer or YouTuber, but I do know what I'm doing when I'm looking for stuff. And if I don't learn, or if I don't know, I learn. Because when you research it, you learn. And you kind of get ideas. Oh, wow, I didn't know about that. I should, Mary Kay makeup. I fell into that this summer. Some lady had it. I started looking up a couple. I realized what they were worth. So I do a lot of bundle deals. Hey, I'll give you this much for all of it. And I got it, and I made 8 times my money quickly off that stuff. and I still have a bunch of it. So you want to always do your research, but you always want to comp what you're doing, and then make sure that you have consistent sales. You're gonna, if you're new to eBay, you're gonna have to build your feedback to get more listings and get you a store and do all those things to get benefits like supplies. But you definitely want to do your research and have a backup income in the beginning and get out of debt as much as you can before you do this. That way you're not tied to the pressure of trying to make a living and have all the debt on you too. So you got to turn the money and reuse the money into your business as well.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Get out of debt. You want to reinvest your money back in your business. I have a quick question for you, Cap Guy. If you get a Social Security check, or do they limit how much money you're allowed to make and still get your Social Security check?
Yes.
It's just something that came to my mind. Can you tell the viewers, in case they don't know, what the threshold is?
It's about 20 grand. And I did, like I said, the year before on eBay, when I was part-time, I did 24. I tried to stay under 20, but when PayPal was involved, I went over the limit and it kind of threw me out. So I got a 1099. And of course, some people will say you're supposed to file taxes on the money that eBay doesn't report anyway. But technically I made $97,000 last year. So I've been doing my taxes, and I'm going to owe some money because I do have write-offs. If you're going to do a full-time and you're going to go above 20,000, I definitely suggest you keep a spreadsheet, like an Excel spreadsheet, all your receipts. I enter my mileage and my expenses every day, my purchases, supplies, etc. You got to keep up with that. I have a mortgage, so that's a write-off as well. You got to look at that versus your standard deduction. And I'm not a tax guy, but I'm learning, because sometimes you learn the hard way. So you definitely, on Social Security, I've already made probably enough this year that it would be penalizing me. They'll take $1 for every dollar I make. So I'm going to hold off on it and live off part of the eBay income and supplement what pension I still have. But when I do decide to go really small with eBay or quit it completely, then I will take my Social Security, and it'll get better as I get older. But I thought I was going to live on it, and I could live on it. But at this point, I don't want the government to just take it away little bit by little bit as I earn money, because I work 7 days a week at this. Every day I work at this.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cap Guy. I work some. If I'm not working doing eBay or shooting YouTube videos, I'm working my courier job. So I'm with you as far as working 7 days a week. We were just talking about taxes, and my buddy, the flipping accountant, just stopped in the chat to hang out with us. So thank you for joining us today. And I wanted to say hi to the Frugal Peanut Reseller and Lisa Morris. And Adebayo just had a question in the chat. He says, do you do free returns on hats? Because you said you only had one return so far on all the hats that you sold.
I don't do free returns on anything anymore. I used to do it, and my biggest issue was clothing. And even though when I do a listing on, say, a t-shirt, I give you the armpit, and the length of the shirt and all the pictures I do. I mean, I am really anal with tape on packages, and I'm really anal with pictures. But I got so tired of people buying stuff that didn't know their sizes and returning it on my dime that I quit doing free returns. I don't do free. If you want to, now, if it's my issue, I'm very customer service oriented. I don't just say it, I do it. I give money back a lot for different things. If it's my issue, like a video game doesn't work, I'll give them their money back. If it's something that I didn't catch, I'll give them their money back. But I'm not doing free returns just because you didn't like it or it didn't fit. I mean, I've had, as most of you that do reselling, you probably had packages that were sent out and they never even opened it and returned it. And you got to pay for it. So I quit doing that, and it has dropped my returns overall. But ball caps, I don't, because I clean them and I take enough pictures that they know what's wrong with that ball cap. If anything, if it's really stained and I can't get it out, I'm not gonna sell the cap. So.
All right. So, Bobby, I don't know if we touched on this when you were here last, because I think it was back in 2020. So this year is a new year, 2021. I want you to talk to me a little bit about what are some of your goals that you have this year in 2021 as far as your YouTube channel and reselling, because I do believe, I know you don't, but I believe that you'll probably hit 1,000 subscribers this year on your YouTube channel. So I want you to talk about what some of your goals are as far as your YouTube channel, your reselling for your eBay store, and is there anything else in particular that you would like to talk about as far as your plans for this year in 2021?
As far as YouTube, my biggest thing is to do more filming when I hit yard sales. I bought a GoPro 8 and I'm going to do more filming than I used to do. I'm trying to get better with editing and all that because I'm not a tech person. I really need to be focused more on eBay than YouTube, but I make them because I enjoy entertaining and I enjoy being different and I enjoy the teaching of what I do know. And again, I don't know everything. I learn every day just like everybody else does. But my goal on YouTube is to get to 1,000 subscribers. I know I'm never going to be a Cincinnati Picker, a Harry Tornado, or a Lonnie in the size of my channel, but it's a goal I set, and I like to make my goals just like I did when I was at UPS. I want to hit the goals that are set. I've got the hours. I've got well over 4,000 hours because I make a video daily, almost daily, but I'm still 347 subscribers or something like that from hitting 1,000. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. As far as reselling, I'm considering buying a shed this year. I do keep my inventory in my home. I have a bedroom of just eBay inventory, and then my garage has shelving where I have some in there too, but I keep my car in there. And then my office has part of my death pile and my other stuff, and I video and do all my shipping and everything here. And I may buy a shed, just looking at if the numbers and the sales get back on track and really take off again like they did last year, then I will invest in a shed. I'm going to try to be more selective, and as soon as I say that, I won't do it. But I'm going to try to be more selective on things I buy because sometimes I'm an impulse buyer and I will pick up things. I rarely lose money when I buy anything, but I really like to make at least $10 on an item when I sell it. And I've had a lot of $4 and $5 profits, but I want to make more than that per item because I've got to inventory it. When you have 3,700 listings, you got to inventory it, and you've got to find it when you sell it. And there's a lot to this, as you know. Anybody that thinks reselling is an easy job is absolutely incorrect. Yes, you do manage your own hours, and it helps you with your children and everything else if you've got those at home because you can set your schedule around it. But it is work because it's not just sourcing, which if it was sourcing only, that's all I would do. I love sourcing. But then you got to research it again. You got to take the pictures. You got to inventory it. You got to find it. You got to ship it. And you got to deal with the customers on it. So there's a lot to this, but I enjoy it. And I enjoy entertaining folks on my channel.
Yeah, I got his channel is linked down below in the description below. I'm a subscriber, so if you get a chance, go follow the Cap Guy and JT and go check out their channel. And you can tell them that eBay Addict sent you. So go by and check him out. And he does videos regularly on his channel. We had a question in the chat. The Frugal Peanut Reseller says, how often do you take inventory? I think they wanted to know how often do you go sourcing each week? I think that's what the original question was.
Well, the first question, as far as inventory, one of the mistakes I did make when I was down around 1,000 items is I did not keep an inventory. I just kind of knew where everything was because I was putting it away. And what happens is it ends up being the small item that you sold that you can't find. And so I definitely suggest using your custom SKU when you're listing stuff. I'm still learning from that. I have done videos where I show my inventory and how I do it. But if you're going to get up there in that 1,000+ listing range, you better have some kind of an inventory system. I don't take inventory, but there's a lot of things I'm now backtracking on, trying to skew up things on weekends. We'll spend time, Karen and I, working on trying to get things skewed up and go through our list of stuff that we've sourced. And then as far as the other question, how often do I source? During the yard sale season, I'm out every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, typically. During the week, I was going to Goodwill's almost daily. I typically like to go on Wednesday when it's old man discount day is what I call it because that's the discount day. But I haven't sourced as much recently unless it's an estate sale or a surprise yard sale because I don't like paying Goodwill prices. And so if I can find good deals or Facebook deals, I'll go do those. But a lot of people on Facebook kind of know what they got. So you're not going to make a lot of money. So I'm looking for the low end cost of goods and turn it for good profit. So I source during the season a lot and out of season just when I can find opportunity.
Yeah, Lisa says, Bobby, you only had 250 subscribers early last summer. It's not a stretch to believe that you'll be at 347 in 10 months. Like I said, guys, when you're on YouTube, it's more of a marathon than it is a sprint. You just got to be, you just got to be consistent at it, collaborate like what we're doing right now with the Cap guy, and it's going to happen over time. You just got to be yourself, and over time you'll get there. And I believe sometime this year in 2021, you'll hit 1,000 subscribers, Cap guy. So if you guys aren't subscribed or following the Cap guy, go follow him. His link is down in the description below. So I
Yeah,
wanted to
this
say
is one
hi.
of my. She's one of the people I call my Motley crew. That's a name for the people that have been with me since the beginning, and I
Yeah.
appreciate her and some other people that have followed my channel since the beginning. But it's there's so many YouTube channels, and it's hard to watch everybody. But that's one of the things about eBay or YouTube is if you subscribe and you don't watch at least a video, then that subscription will go away. So and then you get purged because now I've been doing over a year, so I lose one or two a day from when I started a year ago in February. So, it is what it is. I'm a little disappointed that it hadn't gone quicker because I do make a video every day for a year and I put in the time and the effort and I try to entertain, but it is what it is and it'll get
Well,
there when it gets there.
Well, you know what, Cap guy? I was just thinking maybe you could have some guests on your channel. I know you did something with Angie Resells. Maybe reach out and have a couple of guests on your show. And I think if you did that, maybe just once a month or once every 2 weeks, just get a guest on your show. It could be, drifter, thrifters. It doesn't have to be a celebrity eBay reseller. Just have somebody else on your show with. It doesn't have to be a Harry Tornado, but just reach out to somebody and say, hey, we're gonna hang out and do a live listing. Do you want? I'm gonna be doing my first ever live listing this week, and I just reached out to Joey Bada Bing. I'm like, hey man, are you free? You want to come hang out with me? I'm gonna be doing a live listing. Are you available? We're just gonna hang out. We're not. It's not no pressure. We're just gonna chill, do a hangout, and just be listing items together and talk to people in the chat. So I think if you reached out and had some guests on your channel, I think that would definitely help because people would shout you out on their Instagram or YouTube page saying, hey, I'm hanging out with a Cap guy. And if you just did that maybe just once a month or once every 2 weeks, I think that would definitely help your channel grow. We've had you on the show today for about 50 minutes, Cap guy. Go ahead and let people know where they can find you at on YouTube and Instagram.
Well, I'm the Cap guy, no spaces involved, the Cap guy and JT. And I put my eBay store in my link every day when I do a video. I don't think I did today, but normally I do. And like I said, I'm here. I make a video. I usually try to upload my video every morning. So if you're not watching, because a lot of people upload theirs later in the day or at night, and I like to have mine first thing. So if you're having coffee or a late breakfast and you want to watch, check it out. Like I said, I go over every item I sell every day. I don't just do the good stuff. I tell you the good and the bad. I tell you I'm very transparent, and then we also start out with a little entertainment, and of course I think most people tune in to watch JT be silly and embarrass me, but that's what I want. So.
Yeah. So Cap guy, I just want to repeat something you talked about earlier. You said as a full-time reseller last year, you said you were at 97,000. Was that correct that you sold on eBay? Now, give me your final thoughts. If someone wants to become a full-time reseller, even if they want to do it part-time and they want to grow their eBay store to the point where they want to make 75, 80, 90,000 a year, it is legitimately possible if you put the work in, because people think that they can just, there's hobby resellers of people that are just doing it to make some extra money. And then there's people that are full-time resellers. That's what I would call them. So if somebody wanted to, and they were like, hey, I'm going to buckle down, I'm going to take eBay serious, what advice would you have for that person? And give me your final thoughts and we'll let you go.
You got to look for things that are hot, which are going to be your toys, some of your vintage plush, your ball caps, your video games, those kind of things. Vintage clothing, if you find it, single stitch shirts, things like that at estate sales. You want to get out and hit the sales early. You got to get there before everybody else because that's when you're going to get the deals, and you want to bundle, a lot of bundling. Hey, I want to buy it all because you're not going to have time if you're running like the video games where I bought 97 for $97. I walked in, I saw them. I said, how much do you want for all of them? They said, $1 a piece. I said, I want them all. I knew there were $4 and $5 games in there, but I also knew right away I saw some that were worth $35 to $55 a piece. So you got to take your chances. You're going to win in the long run. And like I said, $97, I'm going to turn into about $1,100. I'm already well over $300 in profit. But if you want to do this, you've got to do your research. You want to find it as low cost of goods as you can. It's just simple math, and then turn it into a good profit. Whether you like you for $1 buying a game and selling it for 15, or video, a DVD or Blu-ray, you're making huge profit off that. It's 15 times your money. So if you can do that, you're going to be successful, and then you want to scale it as fast as you can keep up with it. But learn all the other aspects of reselling, not just the buying stuff. You've got to inventory it. You've got to learn your tax side and your expenses, what's going out, what's coming in. I always suggest when you start this that you start in your own home or with friends and families' items, sell it for them, work out a deal, or just sell stuff in your own home and use that money to recycle. There's a guy that does a thing on video games now, that he started out with $10, and he's built this huge video game thing showing you he can make a ton of money off $10, and you can do that. But you gotta do your research, and you gotta look stuff up, and you gotta get it cheap enough.
Yeah, for sure. There's people that work full-time jobs. There's people that don't even make close to 100,000. So and that's his gross sales. That's not not saying that's all profit, but he is saying that if you get out there and hustle, there's money out there to be made. So hey, I wanted to thank everybody in the chat. Miratech7 says thank you, eBay Addicts. We had a great guest on today. Thumbs up. I wanted to say thank you to 1987 Ventures with Tracy. The Frugal Peanut Reseller is here. Lisa Morris was here hanging out with us. And I want to say hi to Eric and Landshark Picker and everybody else I missed in the chat. Thank all you guys for coming on and hanging out with you. Wednesday, I have Adventures with Victoria on Wednesday, so I'll see you guys then. In the meantime, go follow the Cap Guy. Go subscribe. Check him out. Tell him I sent you there. You guys have a great day.
Go back 2 or 3 weeks in my videos and look at some of the things I've done and shown you, and you'll learn some of that stuff, and you'll get some good ideas. I appreciate you, Jeff, as always, man. You're a good friend. I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you, Cap Guy, and hopefully next time I have you on, you're gonna have 1,000 subscribers. I hope that's the case. So I'll see all you guys again soon. You guys have a great day. eBay Addicts, peace out. See you guys later. Bye.